Oh, through the window, by the window, by the world becomes
Iban konare ro jangan iro kore bala iba konda bi konda bi bekor tuldi iba konda kada
This man has never seen a woman in his life. This is Michael Tolodos, a Greek Orthodox monk. Just after 4 hours of his birth, his mother passed away. The boy was abandoned at the steps of a monastery atop Mount Athos. The boy was adopted by the monastery and the monks. A law passed in 1060 banning women and animals from Mount Athos was in force. Since Michael never had any contact with the outer world and no woman was allowed to visit the monastery, he died in 1983, at the age of 82, without ever knowing what a woman looked like.
If you don't believe in ghosts or anything along the lines of the supernatural, go to New Orleans, walk around the French Quarter around 2 a.m. I can promise you'll be a believer afterwards. We recently were in New Orleans for Halloween weekend. We walked around the Lalaurie mansion taking pictures and captured this. It appears to be a man and woman walking around with each other in Victorian era fashion. Now mind you, we were the only ones out there, with the exception of this homeless guy. Now we were in disbelief, so we ended up going back out there to capture more pictures. Now before I show you the second picture, I want to tell you the backstory of the woman who owned this mansion. That way the photo that I will show you will make a lot more sense. Madame Marie Dauphine Lalaurie was known as the savage mistress of New Orleans. She was a wealthy narcissist who owned and tortured slaves. Her husband was a doctor. They both would perform medical experiments on her slaves in her attic. Investigators would find slaves beaten and bruised, some with holes in their skull and eyes gouged out. Some had their mouths sewn shut as it was filled with excrements. One woman was even wrapped in human intestine. There was even report of a woman whose bones had been broken and reset so she could resemble a crab. No one would have known any of this was going on if it weren't for the slave who was chained to the stove that caused the fire. The slave said that she would rather die than be taken to Madame Lalaurie's attic. Madame Lalaurie had no regard to human life when it came to her slaves. There was an incident of one of the younger slaves combing Lalaurie's hair. When she combed too hard, Lalaurie got mad and chased her to the balcony where the girl fell over and died. Our second incident occurred under Lalaurie's balcony. It was around 2 a.m. and my lady stopped because she felt a chill go up her spine. She felt like something was pulling her hair, which you could see in her body language. At first, her hair was above her head. I was able to capture it once her hair was closer towards her shoulders. Could this have been the same spirit that used to do Madame Laurie's hair? Or was this just the wind, and this is all one big ghost story?
Just recently, on November 5th, 2022, American singer and songwriter Aaron Carter passed away. His death was ruled as a suicide. I gotta blur out words so they don't take this down. That doesn't really make much sense when you look deeper into it. Now let me show y'all what I found out. I'm pretty sure everyone knows what's going on with Kanye right now. And Aaron Carter tweeted this before he died. "Oh Kanye, let's talk, man to man." And not even 24 hours after tweeting that, he was found dead in his bathtub. That alone is a little bit sketchy, but that's not the only information that I have. A couple days before he died, he recorded a video in the middle of nowhere talking about how he started a GoFundMe to raise $100,000 so that he could go to a disclosed location so that he could feel safe, after releasing classified information about his brother Nick Carter, and then proceeded to claim that he was a rape. The R word. Let me show y'all the video real quick.
This is Aaron Carter. I want to verify that this is actually my GoFundMe page. There's been a lot of misdirection that I've had to do in order to protect myself from being the silence breaker for my brother who is a rapist. And now they're after my life. My whole family is after my life. And they're setting me up. And Sony Records owes me $3.5 million. And they don't want to pay me. And it would be in their better interest, just like Michael told me. And Brad Paisley, who sued Sony Records for $10 million. They owe me money and they're trying to kill me off. And I'm begging you and I'm pleading you Help me raise $100,000 as soon as I can so I can move to an undisclosed location where I am safe. My realtor won't sell my house. They're all involved in this, and they're trying to keep me there. They had cops come and check for a rope in my garage, saying I wanted to hang myself. So please trust what I'm saying, and please donate the...
It's crazy how your own family would do that to you just to keep a secret. It's not really a secret because we know everybody in the industry are pedos. Yeah, we know that. And I say that because it reminds me a lot of Isaac Kappy. Isaac Kappy was an American actor and musician who died May 13th of 2019 from offing himself. He proceeded to claim that American filmmaker Tom Hanks was a pedo, even after Kappy said on video that he wasn't suicidal. But let's check out the video real quick.
I'm not suicidal. I'm not suicidal. Did I do it for money? Yeah, man, it's bad. It's so dumb. It's so fucking dumb. I'm not gonna tell you what I did because, at this point, it still could endanger people.
And he said that after he said this.
Oh, I'm not gonna talk about Tom Hanks either, who is also, well, Tom Hanks, folks, is a... I'm sorry if...
Then on April 4th, Tom Hanks tweeted this. Where did Isaac Kappy die again? But don't forget, it's all a theory. More than likely, they're gonna take it down, so full video will be on my YouTube.
Let's talk about the case in which a young middle school boy had his life ended brutally by a man he called father. The young boy was very big for his age, and he was very protective of his single mother. So the boy was living only with his mom when one day her mom ran into her middle school buddy from back in the day. The mom's middle school friend was also a single dad, and the mom and the friend clicked. Eventually, the two got in a relationship and they decided to live all together. On the outside, this new family looked really close. For example, look at the picture behind me. The man on the left is the middle school friend and our young boy's new stepfather. The boy right behind me is the middle school boy, the mother's son. Sometime after they all started living together, some really disturbing things started to happen. The stepdad, on the left behind me, allegedly started to follow the mom around everywhere. It's reported he was very possessive and obsessive with her. However, that's not the worst part. He started to get violent with the mom. When they would get into arguments, he literally started to get physical with her. However, one night, the mom experienced one of the most horrifying things she could ever experience. So, due to the alleged abusiveness of the stepdad, they decided to separate and the stepdad left the house. One night, the mom was just sleeping in her room. Then, the stepdad allegedly snuck into the house. Then, he went into her room. Then, he started to strangle her and punch her and hit her. Luckily, she survived, but that was the last straw, and the mom reported it to the police. She did manage to get a stay away order on him. However, as you can probably guess, getting the police involved was not enough. Due to the terrifying incident, the household had cameras set up in the front of the house and behind the house. This footage you see behind me is of the young boy. Soon after the terrifying incident, the mom and son left the house. Take a look very closely at the top left part of the screen. After they left, the stepdad came by the house. He just hovered around for a while, but it seemed like he left. Then, eventually, the son and mom came back home. Terrifyingly, after they came back home, security cameras caught the stepdad peeking in from the bottom right of the screen. One day, the mom left the house and it was only the son who was there. The stepdad snuck in through the back with someone else. They climbed up to go to the young boy's room. While the young boy was sleeping, they gagged, taped, and tied him up. They beat him, and he was strangled. The boy lost his life, and the two were caught soon after the incident.
This is everything we know about Nikita Dragun's arrest. On Monday night, the 26-year-old was staying at the Good Time Hotel in Miami. At 6 p.m., police were called about a disruptive guest. Security guards said that Nikita was causing a disturbance for a long time and was walking around the pool area without clothes. Some reports say she was nude, others say she was naked. Security accused Nikita of tossing water on them when they confronted her. When police arrived, they went up to Nikita's room, and they said there was loud music coming from it. When Nikita finally came to the door, security said that she's at risk of being kicked out. She then allegedly slammed the door in their faces, reopened it, and said, "Do you want more?" A police report says she then tossed an open water bottle at them, which hit and spilled on an employee and a police officer. Nikita was immediately arrested and charged with felony assault and 2 misdemeanors, disorderly conduct and battery. Her bond was set at $2,000. Officers also placed Nikita, a trans woman, in the men's unit in a Florida jail. Not only is this against protocol, but it's extremely dangerous. She's safe now, but imagine if she was in a cell with the wrong person.